Good morning, you guys. It's a beautiful morning today here at the Lawrence Garden Farm. So today I'm going to just share a few tips of what I'm doing. Right now is the time to really dig into the garden, start tending it, controlling some varieties, harvesting some things, and I'll tell you what certain varieties are, some of my favorites, some of my maybe not so favorites. I don't know, I haven't seen anything I don't like yet this year, but we'll kind of just go over that today. So we're gonna dig into the garden rather than, panning what the garden looks like from afar. And I think that that'll just be a lot more helpful and show you really what I'm doing on a daily basis here in the garden. Before we really dig in, I really just wanted to share and show this awesome little window box over here by the chicken coop. This is one that Sayla designed. I did kind of put it together and place it accordingly to heights and trailers, but these are all of the different plants that she did choose. One of my favorites always is just this little seed geranium. This is the violet color. It's so hot pink. It's just beautiful, and it pairs so well with these little orange snapdragons in there, as you can see, just right in here. We've got some yellow trailing petunias, and then some blue scaevola. Look at how pretty all of that looks together, with even that little pink kufia up here. So the hummingbirds love the kufia there. I think just as much as any salvia that you can put in your garden, that has been one that they flock to. And then we've got some trailing verbena over here. The girls are making a lot of noise in the coop today. I can hear them. We have some beautiful lacewings on our yarrow over here. Lacewings are amazing for killing bad bugs such as thrips and aphids. And they're really, really helpful. So anytime you see these little guys, they're good guys in the garden, and you want to just allow them to work. So if you're having a problem with anything, a lot of times people will, buy in ladybugs or lacewings. This is why, because it's an organic way to get rid of them. So before you have a problem and before you start to spray it, just really check and look at what other beneficial bugs are kind of like around your plants, because just remember, like, when you kill those bad guys, you're also killing the good guys. And really everything's a balance. So once you have a good balance in your garden, then it kind of just works itself out with everything. Our yarrow patch over here, it's not super large, but we do have another one elsewhere, and the other one I just allow to just be. This is one where we do harvest from. I'll just go ahead and cut these. I'm just going to cut all the way down, and then I just let it dry that way. I use this time to also be kind of trimming, so that's why I'm cutting it down a little bit further. Really just the flowers here will do, but by trimming it a little bit lower, it will produce more growth and more flowers to produce. So as you can see down here, there's other flowers trying to get the light to produce. So, and there's also little growths along the actual stems here. So once we cut, this will flourish even more. It'll start growing. All these little growths along the stem there, these are going to go ahead and have energy to grow out now and produce new flowers. If you don't cut them at all, it's fine. We do have a patch where we kind of just allow them to go and only cut when they die out. And that's kind of like our offering to the nature to allow them to, be there for them for food, for pollination, for just for nature to thrive, because a lot of beneficial bugs love cluster flowers. Ladybugs especially love cluster flowers. So that's why I'll grow a lot of random patches of dill. I'll grow a lot of random patches of cilantro, and that way they have additional constant blooms for them to go. And we do have other colors of our yarrow here, the pink, and we have yellow, and a little bit of a darker pink over in here. This is another view of our yarrow patch and where it's located. So it's off the back corner of the garden room. It's in the back healing garden over here. When I harvest yarrow, I really just harvest the white yarrow, but I have learned that the pink as well is medicinal, but I just really haven't used it as much yet. I love just using it for cut flowers. And then the yellow I just don't cut because I did read where it's not as medicinal. I don't even know if that is true or not. I'm really just learning a lot about healing herbs, and I have been on this journey for about 6 years, so I'm not a newbie, but yet I am a newbie because there's so many amazing people out there that have lived their entire lives by healing herbs. So I feel like there's always something fun to learn. So if there's anything that you're trying to learn about, like, or want to learn about, like, really dive into what plants can provide for your health, because it is truly, truly amazing. And then it's just a whole nother connection to your garden that just brings the full circle of why you're gardening. So I have a good amount trimmed, but this won't be a lot once it is dry. So we will come out here and cut again once there's more flowers throughout the season. So we're gonna come over to this garden over here, and my oregano is starting to take over some other varieties and get a little too large. So now's the time to cut back. So this will be the first round of drying. So we like to dry oregano for many different uses, not just culinary, but the first round is basically just for that culinary purpose. So as you can see from this side over here, it's really growing into our kale here, right here. And then there are other varieties such as our lemon basil right in here that it's starting to overpower here. And then if you come over here, there's more. Oh, look at how gorgeous, the calendula, my goodness. Okay, so then we're gonna come over here. Oh, look at this random sunflower. So we're gonna have to keep our eye on this because this could easily take over. So when there's a sunflower coming in here and I just kind of want to see what it does, I leave it, but I also start taking off some of the bottom leaves so that way they don't grow into varieties in here, and then not allow light to some of these other varieties. So see right here, there's some zinnias, and it's literally covering the zinnia. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove just one of those leaves right there. So we're just kind of, you know, trimming things to fit. If it gets too large, I will remove it. So over here we have broccoli, and as you can see, it's kind of over the zinnias a little bit. Now the broccoli, I'm not going to go ahead and trim back right now. These leaves are going to help produce a really nice flower head there for us to eat and enjoy. So I'm just going to kind of scooch it this way a little bit, just so that way it just provides a little sun. Even when I'm watering, a lot of times I just kind of like scooch things over. I'm like, okay, back off just a little bit, because, you know, we got to allow these guys to kind of come up in here too. So over here is where I also wanted to show you, we have another plant that's starting to take over here. So this one is the lemon balm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go ahead and trim the lemon balm back as well. So you can see right in here how it's kind of just growing even into that broccoli plant there. From the opposite side, as you can see, it's actually taking over some of our peas over here. I threw peas in random spaces that were wide open. Like this was really bare and wide open for peas, but this is now growing too much, the lemon balm, and the peas are growing into it, which I mean is totally okay too. But I do want to trim a little bit. The peas are starting to actually produce now. They've got the pods on them, so once they get really fattened up, then we can have little treats. So we have a ton of peas all over the garden, and just because that is one of our favorites. You either hate them or you love them. That's kind of how I feel about peas for people. Over here's the Hyssop, which returns every year. It will also give you volunteers, but it smells so amazing, and some people don't like the smell of it though, because it is a black licorice smell. But I love just, you know, taking these off and just, oh my goodness, I love the smell of that. It's so good. And it actually gave us an extra few volunteers like it normally does. So what we're gonna do is trim it back, but I am going to leave some still growing on the top so that way we can get some early blooming, because the early blooming actually attracts a lot of pollinators. This is going to be like a really heavy area with the little honeybees. It loves it over here. The butterflies love it as well, so that's why I like to have some come into blossom early. But a lot of the ones around the side, I'm just going to go ahead and trim down. These ones right here were a couple volunteers, so they weren't really this large when I did the peas. I'm going to actually take these all the way down to the bottom. So I'm going to look right inside there, and I'm just going to go ahead and snip all the way at the bottom. Okay. And whatever material you don't end up using for drying and making whatever you'd like to, what we do is we put a lot of this type of material into our compost pile. It really helps out to throw over the garden at the end of the season. We always kind of let our compost pile mature for a little over a year, and then we throw it on usually in fall. So these over here, I'm just going to go ahead and trim. So I'm going to take this one down to like here. So that way it still has some growth here. So the peas will be done once they're done producing. So then I'll be fine with it, you know, bushing out and getting a little bit larger by then. So we're just gonna go ahead and trim around. There we go. So I'm gonna leave a few of these tall guys there, but I'm gonna just keep going ahead and trimming down. The front, along the front, I'm cutting a little bit shorter, so kind of doing like a you know, little tier style cutting and managing, so that way it's shorter ones in front, a little bit taller in the back, and so on and so forth. And in the back here, it's not really like intruding on anything. I do have some Nigella growing low in the box right there, but they end up getting so tall and stocky to where it doesn't look really nice and full. And I want to produce as many blossoms as possible, especially when this is a huge pollinator attractor for our gardens. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim these as well, so that way it promotes all of the growths along the stem to start bushing out and create more of a bushy appeal and effect over here and create multiple flowers. So I'll leave some right in the middle continuing to go, but here we are going to go ahead and just trim down for now. As you can see, I left some of those right there. I'm leaving these in the middle. I am going to come over here and clip this one a little lower. And then we'll do this one right here too. And this one. Okay, so now this will promote more bushiness along on this side here instead of stocky as it grows, because once it flowers out, it really just focuses on that flower with our Hyssop here. We've had this one here for many years actually. I think it's been, I think since the time we started this garden. This was our original herb garden when we created our raised beds. I think that was like 8 years ago. I can't be completely sure, but it was about a year before we even started our channel. So our channel's been here pretty long, you guys. Here we go. We're just gonna keep going with a couple more things. There. And I think that's good. That way we have new flowers and flowers to come. Jason went and picked up my little Farm and Fleet order this morning. We're getting low on shavings and horse food. So down here we've got that lemon balm. So that's what I'm gonna be trimming next. I'm gonna work to get it off this broccoli a little bit. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna take a little hand bundle here, kind of just hold it like I would a ponytail, and just snip. So that's what we're doing. I'm gonna snip pretty low though, so that way it doesn't just start bushing right underneath that broccoli. We don't want that to happen. So what we're really kind of trying to do is thin it out a little bit here. It got real crazy. We had really hot heat and it really thrived on that. But these are cuts that I am keeping. So I love lemon balm. I think my favorite though, I love lemongrass too. Actually, that's one of my favorites. But I think overall, I really love, for scent-wise, my favorite lemon smell is the lemon basil. There we go. So see how we're giving it a little bit more room? I see this is touching it. Anything touching it or super close to about to be touching it has got to go. Broccoli is one of the favorites in our garden, and we only did a few in our garden this year. My dad grows so much of it, and he grew so much of it again this year. So really this is just nice for a quick cut or fresh snacking when the kids are out here, and for harvesting for canning or freezing. Really, we like to freeze our broccoli, but for freezing the broccoli, we go and harvest from my dad's. So here we go. But I like growing it, like I said, for the snacks, but also I want to maintain my skills. You always want to maintain your skills. Even if someone's helping you out with, you know, you grow this, you grow that, at least still grow one of that thing. So that way you're keeping your skills on how to grow it, because everything requires, you know, different ways of growing it and different techniques, care, all that kind of stuff. What I'm doing now is, so I basically cleared this out here. And so what I'm doing now is I'm just gonna go ahead and trim the tops here. I'm just gonna go ahead and trim all of these tops so they don't get too tall. Like this. Kind of going like this, trimming it. And then I'm gonna leave some off the front just to allow it to blossom. Because once again, herbs are one of the best things to allow to blossom, just because it does attract so many pollinators to your garden and beneficial bugs. Beneficials help you balance. So when you add herbs and flowers to your garden and allow those herbs to flower out, allow your flowers to flower out, that's what you want to do, because then that's how you get the good balance, and then you don't have to spray and do all this crazy stuff in your garden. When I started going more organic in our food beds and stuff like that, that was kind of when we first started. And I didn't always do that before we started our gardens here. So it was a huge learning curve for me. And the first couple of years, I'll tell you, it was tough starting organic. So if you are just starting out with organic gardening, just know like that first 1 to 2 years, it's really difficult, only because like your garden is just starting to build up like a whole community. Think of it as like building up a whole community of positive people, right? But it starts off with maybe more negative people, but the more positive people, the less negative people, because they'll move out. So that's kind of how you can kind of look at it. So it took a couple years to really get that really good balance. So we still get bad bugs. We get aphids, we get thrips. And I mean, there's really not a lot that you can do, but we do use a spray called Monterey that we use for quite a while. And I haven't had to use it the past 2 years. We have a really good balance.
All right, we're gonna head out to the big fall garden here and see what we got going on. I can see from a distance that even since the last time we were out here, everything is so much bigger. But we're now at that crucial point where if you don't till or you don't hoe in between the rows, then the weeds can start to overtake the pumpkins and corn, and things just get real messy and it doesn't turn out right. So we don't want to let it go any longer. So it's been hot and we've gotten a lot of rain, so everything's growing up real nice. But now it is definitely time. You can see there's just a lot of the weeds coming up in between the rows there, so we want to just take care of that. But other than that, it's looking great. Love it. I'm coming out here to till, and Lana and Sayla and their cousins, they're up on the hill. They got a big giant piece of plastic or tarp or something, and they're gonna try and make a water slide. Definitely exactly something that me and my brothers would have done when when we were younger. So this will be fun to see how it works out. Okay, well, I feel very accomplished. Now it looks amazing. Now the next time I till, I might not be able to go, you know, I'll be able to go up and down these rows, but maybe not that way because the plants will have grown. And we're gonna use a smaller tiller for that, but yeah, look at the pumpkins, look so good. The corn's looking good.